Hello to you beautiful people. My name is Na Lakshmi, coming to you with another cosmic weather report, another astrological update, and an inspiration for you to be your best self, because we are elevating humanity for a better world. And thank you for playing your part. Oh, July. So much is happening and so great. And let's just dive right in. We're looking. This whole week was was filled with some changes, and I know a lot of you have been feeling it. What's happening is when the universe shifts gears, and what I mean by shifting gears is when there's a shift from one sign to another sign, and it's more than one planet that is just shifting into another sign. It's a whole different energy. And so we feel those subtleties and whatever is happening in your life. And the big shift that we are feeling right now is the moving from the Cancer energy into the Leo energy, and it's quite the extreme jump. Every time there's a change in a sign, it's a shift, like I said, but there's something to be said about moving from Cancer to Leo. Very significant. Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is our emotions, it's our habits, it's our patterns, but mainly it's our emotions. And the month of the month of June into July, when the sun is in Cancer, and we had Mercury and Venus in Cancer, not just the sun. So what a lot of us have been experiencing is swimming in that emotional place, and there's just so much water energy with Mars still in Scorpio. We've got a lot of water energy happening right now, and for some of you it's been great. Like those of you that have no problem with feelings, with emotions, with being with what is being felt, whatever is being felt. For those of you that are okay with swimming in the emotional waters, no big deal. But for those of you that are not so accustomed to it, it might have felt very intense, just very emotional. It can be what we consider to be moody, right? Cancer, the moon. But moodiness is basically just our human experience of moving from one emotion to the next, and learning how to just ride those emotional waves without getting too attached. And so the lesson for many of you during this time is first to learn how to feel, to learn how to be with your emotions. And the biggest one for many of us is to not get attached, meaning that if you feel one thing, that doesn't mean that, okay, that's what life is all about. It's just this one thing that I'm feeling right now. Or making decisions that are too based on strong emotions. And sometimes it is good to take a step back and see, well, let's see how I feel tomorrow or the next day, or maybe even the next hour, and not to be so impulsive and not to react from an emotional place. And also patterns, habitual patterns, because that's another thing with the moon and Cancer. It can be very habitual, and habitual on the emotional level, like just going back into the same kind of feelings and then making decisions out of those feelings. And it's very habitual, and it can be very unconscious, because that's another thing with the moon. The moon is an interesting energy because we have us from Earth. We always see the light side of the moon, right? But on the other side, where we can see, it's completely dark. So there's an interesting combination there of the light and the dark that has been a major theme in our life right now. The darkness and the lightness, the darkness and the light, and how to navigate between the two and not attach to either one. and to remember that it's about bringing the light into the darkness. It's not about getting rid of the darkness. It's not about denying it, suppressing and ignoring it, because that's when we get Mars in Scorpio and all kind of unconscious, undealt with issues coming up to the surface, and you just want to explode. That's what happens when we suppress. So it's just dealing with the darkness in a way that is not suppressing it and is not pulling you into it where there's just no return. So there's a lot of navigation through that. So with Cancer and the big jump that is happening from Cancer to Leo. Now also Cancer and Leo are the most personal signs of the zodiac. We're looking at the moon, ruled by Cancer, ruled by the moon, and then we're moving into Leo, ruled by the sun, the most personal, subjective signs and planets, which also shows us that this time of the year is usually a lot about personal, just personal stuff, subjective reality, and how can I transform my own subjective reality, knowing that my subjective reality actually has a ripple effect and helps to shift and transform the collective reality, which is a huge piece in our awakening right now, and that so many people are starting to take care of themselves more, are starting to connect to themselves more, are starting to nurture that inner child, the moon, that inner child, to nurture that aspect in themselves. And by nurturing ourselves, we have greater capacity to nurture other people in our lives and to nurture the world. And the world really just needs a lot of love and nurturing right now because it's going through a lot. So it's another, again, aspect important to remember, not to get lost or attached to the darkness and whatever is happening and whatever triggers that you might feel because what's happening, if it's in your subjective reality in your own life or just what's happening in the world. Because yes, it can be a shit show sometimes, but what are you going to do about it? You know, and that's when there's that choice point of like, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to get triggered and react and go back to past behaviors and past patterns? Or am I just going to keep the eyes on the prize? I always like to say it. What's your vision for yourself, for the world? So let that lead your way. And that's when we're going into this big shift, or there's a hummingbird outside my window. Just a reminder of joy, which is perfect with what I'm about to say, that jump from Cancer into Leo. So we're talking not just the sun that is moving through those signs, but we've got the sun's best friends, with his Mercury and Venus, because they always travel very close to the sun. And Venus went into Leo on July 12th. And then another thing with Venus, there's a lot of energy around Venus right now. So love, heart, relationships, money, projects, harmony, beauty, all of that is being amplified and emphasized because Venus entered Leo, but also on the 14th, which is today, Leo is coming out of the underworld. Venus goes through cycles, and she's been in the underworld for a couple months, and now she's coming out, and she's going to appear as the evening star again. And so Venus is very, very, very happy. I want to encourage you with that energy of Venus in Leo. The emphasis is on love, soul, and heart. It's your own creativity. It's what is your unique expression and message. Because Leo is all about self-expression and creativity, and it's really important actually when things are being triggered When there is whatever darkness that you go through, whatever dark corners that you encounter in your life, is to really find outlets, creative outlets, to express the emotions, to move through the waves of emotions, whatever it may be. Dance and music is really, really great. Venus in Leo is all about that. Move your body, listen to music, and find those creative outlets to help you move through whatever darkness that you encounter in your life right now, and whatever triggers that are happening. Again, Mars with Scorpio and still moving slow. There's still a few weeks left for that cycle, and the frustration might still be felt, and some anger and some rage and things from the past, and it's all coming up to be released. So it's up to you how you're going to release it. And I want to encourage you to start making heart-centered, courageous choices. Not choices that are based on past behaviors, past patterns, emotional triggers, fear, but going to your Leo energy. That's your solar energy. That's your creative energy. That's your heart energy. Is being that lion, being that lioness, being the king, being the queen, and claim your kingdom and your queendom. But the only way to do it is to really step into your self-value and your self-worth. Because the flip side of Leo, like every sign, every planet has a higher octave and a lower octave. So to bring the higher octave of Leo into the game is the courage, it's the light, it's the self-expression, it's creativity. It's like knowing, really knowing. You look at those big lions sitting there and the king of the jungle, they just know, basking in the sun. But the flip side of that for us as humans is not having the confidence and doubting oneself and always looking for validation. Leo wants to be recognized. Leo wants to be loved. And sometimes that can be needy or attached or really affecting the heart of the Leo, of the lion, if I don't get recognized, if I don't get applause. And this is such an opportunity for us right now to it's the ultimate test of how much love you have for yourself, how much confidence you have in yourself, no matter what is the outside showing you or giving you. It's being courageous and trusting that what you are getting is exactly what you need. It's not always what you want, but it's what you need. And it is quite of an ultimate test right now to how much can I trust, how much courage can I have to stay true to myself and my own unique expression without needing to be validated, without needing to be recognized. But I am so solid in myself, and I know my self-worth, and I know my self-value. And I am going to be that lion. I am going to be that lioness. So we're moving into that Leo energy. Mercury went into Leo yesterday. So we're looking at Venus coming out of the underworld, moving into Leo. Mercury, our mind, intellect, thoughts, communication, going into Leo too. Courageous conversations. The conversation has been up for us. Like having those conversations, having those communications, that self-expression, whatever needs to be expressed with another. Again, Venus is our relationships, with heart-centered expression. If it's your own expression, if it's in your communication, to be courageous and to come from your heart. Mercury is going to conjunct Venus on the 16th. So we're taking our feminine energy and our heart in conjunction, coming together with our minds, with our thought process, with our perception, with our communication, all in the sign of Leo. The heart, the soul, the solar energy, the sun, the light of your being. Let that infuse your relationships, your communication, your expression, everything that is moving forward in your life right now. Let it be fueled by your Leo, lion, lioness energy, and be creative. We are preparing for a full moon that is going to happen next Tuesday, and I'm going to talk about that next week. But the full moon is going to be in Capricorn. The moon is going to be in Capricorn, and Capricorn is like game time. You know, the sun is going to leave Cancer on the 22nd, and then we're going to be out of the zone of Cancer. And then the moon is going to be in Capricorn. Capricorn is like no emotions, honey. It's time to make some choices that are not based on patterns, habits, emotional triggers, and where we feel weak. So it's really good to embrace our soft spots and then choose to rise above it. Choose to move forward. Capricorn is the mountain goat. It's like it's just going to climb. I'm not looking back. It's just climbing to the top without looking back. Always remembering what is your vision? What is fueling you? Who are you? Right? There's a lot of awakening to that. Who are you? Deep down inside. What do you want to create? What do you want to do? What do you want to share? What is your unique expression? And let that be seen. Let that be heard. Let that be expressed. Get full of yourself, so to speak. Not from a narcissistic place, but full of yourself, knowing your self-worth, knowing your self-value. And you show that to the world. And just be gentle with yourself. I always like to remind that. And we still have that the sun in Cancer. Be gentle with yourself. Nurture yourself. Take care of yourself. You want to give yourself that love, appreciation, nurturing, so you don't seek that from others. And you have this immense space to create and to really express yourself in the most authentic, courageous way. And play. You've got to play. Leo likes to play. And Venus in Leo, Mercury in Leo. It's like we've moved through so much darkness and like the muck. We've got to play. So again, dance, sing, music, create art, whatever. Go out with your friends. This weekend is going to be quite intense. And it might bring some shocking elements into your life. But just keep reminding yourself to stay light and to play. And even during these times of really moving forward and making some life-changing decisions, is to remember to not take yourself or anything for that matter too seriously. And playing reminds us that, and letting that inner child come out and play and not be too serious. Yes, really the positivity is up and up and flowing into our life, and there's so much light coming in. And I'm sending you so much love and light from my heart to yours, and a reminder to stay in your heart, especially when it's the most challenging thing to do, when it's the most difficult thing to do. Stay in your heart, and especially when it comes to yourself, stay in your heart, not in the critical mind, but stay in your heart, stay in your body. That's when the light can shine. That's when you give room for the light to shine even brighter. Yeah? Find that Leo, find that lion, lioness in your heart. and just go with it, run with it. That's my message for today. Thank you so much for listening. And if you find these videos inspiring, please subscribe to my YouTube video and share those videos. It helps so much with the support. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I offer readings. I offer my astrology readings, soul signature readings, and you can book that on the link below. And if you're interested to explore even more so and to work on a one-on-one basis with me, I'm offering more intense programs for those of you that are feeling all the changes, that are feeling all this transformation and need some guidance. Because bottom line, we can't do it alone. We all need some help. And I'm happy to be of service to you in whatever way that we can work together. So please contact me for more details and see what we can create together. And again, I'm sending you tons and tons of love. Stay courageous, stay beautiful, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time. Be your best self. We are elevating humanity for a better world.